Okay, so imagine managing a finance app project. Let's call it BudgetBuddy. Okay, and in BudgetBuddy the requirements change every week. One moment users want basic expense tracking, the next they demand cryptocurrency integration, and suddenly everyone's requirement is to integrate investment portfolio analytics. So this is the actual reality when developing a project. Okay, the requirements keep on changing continuously. To cope with problems related to changing requirements, agile methodology comes into practice. um, so welcome everyone. Prajan Shrestha, and in this video we are exploring how Agile and Scrum transforms our budget body development from a reactive scramble into a strategic adaptive process. So according to versions 1 15th annual state of Agile report, 97% of organizations now practice Agile development methods, making this knowledge essential for any software professional. Whether you are doing academic projects, startup ventures, or enterprise systems, what you learn today will provide evidence-based strategies for handling the very reality that defines modern software development, that is constant change. Okay, so first one, the waterfall dilemma. So to understand Agile's revolutionary impact, we must first understand the limitations of a traditional waterfall model. The waterfall model, first described in Dr. Winston Roy's 1970 paper, follows a rigid sequential approach. So first of all, requirements, and then design, then implementation, testing, and then deployment. So for instance, the design phase is only started when all the requirements are gathered. So each phase must be completed before the next begins. So when implementing waterfall model in our early budget body development, so we spent months gathering the requirements only to have user needs evolve before we had written our first line of code. So, and the Standish Group's 2020 chaos report reveals that this is common in waterfall, which shows that 29% of waterfall projects succeed compared to 42% of agile projects. So waterfall struggled with adaptability. This changing of requirements created frustration among team members. Thus, there was a need of an approach that could adapt to changing requirements. So, the solution is to implement Agile, and there comes Agile to the rescue. Okay, so Agile principles in practice. For so let's talk about Agile. So Agile is one of the processes in software development where projects are broken down into small repeated cycles, which are called sprints, which where work is delivered frequently, allowing teams to adapt quickly to the changing requirements. The Agile Manifesto emerged with 12 principles. For instance, Principle 3 says deliver working software frequently. So for instance, for in budget body, this meant releasing within 2 weeks. Okay, when cryptocurrency requests emerged mid development, we applied principle 2, which says welcome changing requirements. So instead of treating this as a disruption, so for instance, there is a change. For example, cryptocurrency, the stakeholders, they wanted to implement cryptocurrency integration. So according to principle 2, we welcomed the changes and we saw it as an opportunity. So we reprioritized our backlog and delivered the feature in our next sprint. So in the same way, principle 6 says that the most effective communication is face to face. So while developing budget body, we had daily stand-up meetings with the team members to discuss the progress of this app. This helped to maximize clarity, keep the team aligned, and made sure that any issues are quickly spotted. Okay. So Scrum framework in budget body. So Scrum is a popular framework in Agile to manage and develop applications. It is a tool used for tracking expenses, visualizing spending, and managing budgets efficiently. Scrum has three parts. So for no, so they are Scrum roles, Scrum artifacts, and Scrum ceremonies. Okay. So let's talk about Scrum roles. So the number one is product owner. The product owner is the voice of the customer. They define what features need to be developed and prioritize them in the product backlog. For BudgetBuddy, our product owner ensures we are always focused on what matters the most or highest priority items. So, for instance, making it easy for users to log their daily expenses and visualize their savings. Okay, so the next one is Scrum Master. So let's say I am the Scrum Master, so I make sure the team follows Scrum principles, remove any blockers, and keep everyone aligned. You can think of me as the team's coach, helping us stay productive and focused during sprints. And the final one is the development team. The development team includes developers, designers, and testers who actually build the product. For BudgetBuddy, they handle everything from designing the dashboard to coding the analytics module and ensuring smooth development. Okay, so the next one is Scrum artifacts, and another major part of Scrum is Scrum artifacts. They are the key deliverables which we work with. So number one is product backlog. The product backlog is the list of the features that we want in BudgetBuddy, such as add expense, set monthly limit, generate spending reports, etc. So there is one thing to note, that the product backlog is always evolving according to the feedback. Okay, so the next one is sprint backlog. Sprint backlog can be defined as the subset of product backlog. It includes the tasks to be completed within 2 weeks. So for example, sprint 1 may include dashboard UI design, sprint 2 may include add expense feature, etc. So the next one is increment. Increment is the working shippable product at the end of each sprint. Thus after sprint 1, the dashboard UI is complete, so which can be now handled to the product owners. Okay, in the same way, Scrum ceremonies. So Scrum is powered by 4 key ceremonies or meetings that keep the team aligned and focused. So first one is sprint planning. At the start of each sprint, we plan what to deliver and how we will do. For example, during sprint 2 planning, we decided to implement the add expense feature, where users can enter transactions, categorize them, and attach notes. So, and the next one is daily stand-ups. These are quick 15-minute meetings, so they are mostly 15 minutes duration, and sometimes they can last a little bit longer also. So usually they are like 15 minutes, and where each team member shares what they did yesterday, what they will do today, and if they are facing any blockers, so things like those. And the next one is sprint review. At the end of each sprint, we demonstrate our work to the product owner and stakeholders. So after completing the expense implementation feature in sprint 2, we present this feature, and according to the feedback, we make any necessary changes in the next sprint. Next one is sprint retrospective. So right after the sprint review, the team reflects on how the sprint went, what went well, what didn't, and how we can improve. For example, after sprint 2, we realized that our API response times were slow. So in the next sprint, we optimized database queries before adding new features. Okay. So in this video, we talked about how waterfall model is not suitable for the projects where the requirements change frequently, and how agile how we can implement agile to those projects. So this is it for this video, and in the next video we'll talk about real world examples which uses agile implementation plan for BudgetBuddy, and why agile is suitable for such projects like BudgetBuddy. So we will do that, and thank you so much for watching. So thank you.